Welcome to Bowling for Fruit Q&A. I'm your girl, plant-based Nicole Roche, and we have Remsen, aka Tribe by Noir, joining us shortly. He is my partner. Where y'all at? Come on in the room. What's up, JB70BNC? What's up, Trim Sidewalk Cafe? What's up? Hey y'all, come on in. This is Bowling for Fruit Q&A. Bowling for Fruit. I can never say that. Fruit Q&A. Just waiting for my co-host, if you will, Choco Walla. Sorry, I can't accept you at the moment because I'm waiting for my partner. We do a Q&A. However, if you guys want to come on to ask a question, as long as the IG Live ain't jacking up the quality, you can request to join after he comes on. So, can't accept you at the moment. And I'm going to put in this ask questions, you guys, in the question box. Once he comes on, ask questions in, because it's easier for me to see if you guys ask questions in the question box. If you guys put it in the question box, it's a lot easier for me to see because all this scrolling up and stuff, I miss stuff. So, where's Remsen? Hey guys, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all got your fruit and your questions ready? Huh? You got your fruit and your questions ready? We about to get it in, y'all. Get your fruit. What's up, Remsen? All right. I'm accepting you, Remsen.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you and your whole city.
Yeah, that's right. New York City. New York City is just straight up noise, garbage, and homeless people. That's New York City.
I forgot you live in New York.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm here for now.
Wait.
Huh?
Have you been living in New York since I've known you?
No. I don't think, maybe. I don't know.
Where were you living before?
Ohio.
Shut up!
Oh, wow.
When
You can't be yelling in my ear like that.
Sorry. Well,
huh?
You came on here with all that loud honking. Wait, when were you living in Ohio?
Yeah, I mean, that was like all throughout 2019, 2020, 2021.
Oh, Ripson! I'm so sad. You know why?
Why?
Because my mother lived there for 4 years and she just moved back a year ago. So I was out there. Well, the last time I came out there was it was before COVID. So were you living there? You say you were living there 2019?
I think 2020 actually.
Oh, okay. So you I think the last time I was there was before you even moved there. But that would
probably.
dope. That would have been dope though if you lived there when my mother lived there and I was out there and I could have met you in person.
Well, I'm going back.
Are you?
I'm going back. Yeah.
Why?
Because the missus is still in Ohio.
Oh, that's where your girlfriend lives?
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were doing the long distance.
Yeah, I mean, look, long story short, COVID was very destabilizing. My mother worked in healthcare. She couldn't get a job because she refused to take the shot. So she was pretty much blacklisted from working because of the mandate. So she didn't have an income. I stepped in and pretty much been holding things down from here. So.
Oh wow. Okay, so your girlfriend lives in Ohio now?
Yeah. So this is what I got. Yeah. I got my 7 bananas here that I'm gonna polish off
you
right
got
there.
a whole trough of bananas.
Mm-hmm. I usually eat them like that. Yeah, I usually do like 6 or 7 at a time.
You know, it's funny because I can't eat. The way you're supposed to eat bananas is you're supposed to eat them right. And I don't like bananas right. But I will, when they're ripe like that, I just put them in the freezer and I freeze them and I put them in smoothies. I can eat them ripe in a smoothie frozen, but I don't prefer to eat them like that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Unless I'm desperate. If I'm desperate and I'm hecka hungry and it's like a survival thing, I'll eat it. But I can't just eat them ripe like that for some reason. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Yesterday, I had mango smoothies all day. I had nice big mangoes. I had I had some smoothies and they were kind of soft. You know who Raw Vegan Love is, right?
Yeah, she interviewed me and you.
Yeah, that's right. So she shipped me some mangoes from her mango tree.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She ain't give me
So
no mangoes. No, I'm just playing.
so basically, UPS came through late with them, right? So they were like soft in the box. So I ended up throwing them in the blender, made a nice thick mango smoothie where it's just straight up mangoes.
Wow,
Um,
that sounds yummy.
Yo, mango in the blender.
Mm,
It is the consistency and the flavor is so good.
that sounds good,
Straight mango.
especially if they're
So good.
ripe.
You have no idea.
And they were all ripe too, right?
Yes. Oh, it's so good. My God, it's insanely good. Oh, wow. It's the
Mm,
perfect texture and consistency for a smoothie.
that sounds yum, 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 yum. Now
Mm.
I've done mango nice cream. I've done mango nice cream before, which is not a consistency of a smoothie, but it's more like ice cream consistency, and that's really
Hmm.
yummy. I like that too. So I get you. Hey everybody, thanks for joining. This is Bowling for Fruit. I have to say it slow because I always say fruit. Fruit Q&A with Remsen and Nicole. Remsen is a high raw vegan nutritionist, and I'm just a person who eats plant-based for 12 and a half years. But I'm really good at eating. You know, I'm a nutritionist in eating. But all the hard questions go to Remsen. Easy questions go to me. Make sure you put them in the question box because it's easier to find. Remsen, do you have any topics you want to start us off with today?
Actually, I got a couple. So, you know, my thing is systemic analysis, right? So, people say, oh, yeah, so I want to talk about one of the biggest problems that I've heard from nutritionists where they want to change out of being a nutritionist and do something different, right? They went to school, they got their bachelor's and master's in nutrition and dietetics. You know, they went to go get board certified and registered, and then they realized that that was not really what they wanted to do because they're heavily confined by the guardrails of the institution, right? So when you are a registered dietitian, you have to create your nutrition guidelines in accordance to what the health insurance companies um, will cover,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to tailor your approach to work in coordination with their medications and things like that. So the guidelines revolve around treatment rather than illness reversal, right?
Treatment rather than, okay.
So this can be very unfulfilling work because you don't fix anything,
So a
right?
Band-Aid, a Band-Aid.
Right. You don't have to fix anything. So it's kind of like you're a mechanic and people come into you and they got issues where the tire's worn down or they have a flat, and all you can do is reinflate the tire and patch the hole, but you can never replace the tire.
Right.
That's what it's like, right?
Yeah.
So you can never really apply a solution, really.
Correct.
So you see people, they come in, they got they got diabetes. The best thing you can do is manage their blood sugar, right?
Mm-hmm.
But illness reversal, like diabetes reversal, off the table. High blood pressure reversal, off the table, right? PCOS reversal, off the table. Hashimoto's reversal, off the table. Lupus
Mm-hmm.
reversal, off the table, right? Kidney disease reversal, off the table. All these things, off the table. No go,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're working as a registered dietitian in the office, you work with a doctor's office or whatever, you know, you basically pass off a cookie cutter program that, you know, something that everybody does. And it's like a list of foods and general guidelines. There's not really any math that goes into it. It's not like a specific tailored plan. It's kind of like, well, kind of just generally eat from this list, but avoid these things and eat this in moderation. And, oh, you can eat plenty of this and that's that, right? It's not anything specific. So it's very unfulfilling work because it's not like, hey, do this specific plan and then we'll touch base next week and document your progress over the next several weeks, right? It's not done with the intention of reversing chronic illness, right? So it's kind of like running a race, but there's no finish line, right? So it becomes this very unrewarding work, and then people just dip out of it or they phone it in at work. It's not really an exciting thing. And I've talked to a couple nutritionists about that, and then some people ask me, including nutritionists, and they ask me, you know, where did you learn all this stuff? Because they don't learn it. You don't learn it through conventional means when you go for like your bachelor's or master's or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
All the stuff you're learning, you don't learn when you go to school for it.
Yeah, you don't learn that stuff. And so basically we got into a conversation, and I've had this conversation a few times, and it always goes like, well, the reason why they don't teach you that stuff is because, first of all, you got to understand that so healthcare and preventative medicine or chronic illness reversal are not a thing that exists in the United States. And the reason why is because preventative care and chronic illness reversal cuts against the profit margins of health insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies, as well as the hospitals. These things are these are in opposition to each other. If you're in an industry that is primarily driven by profit, and you're introducing methods and practices that reduce profits, well, there's heads butting. The institution that relies on repeat customers and relies on continuously keeping people on medications for as long as possible, they're not going to want people having permanent solutions to their problems.
Because they would lose so much money.
It's not just them that would lose money. So first of all, the hospitals would lose money, the health insurance companies would lose money, the pharmaceutical companies would lose money, which means bad earnings reports, which means hits on the stock market, which means decline in the overall stock market, which means a diminishment in the GDP, which means poor economic performance in the economy at large, which means attack ads against the politicians, which means a scolding from your donors. This goes all the way up to the top of the political chain. That's why. You're playing with the money of the wealthiest profit centers on the entire planet.
Yep.
When you start talking about chronic illness reversal, right? So if you Google, can you reverse kidney disease? They always tell you no. It's not true. Yes, you can. Right? Can you reverse type 2 diabetes? I think they just started being honest about this and saying yes. Right? Can you reverse PCOS? No. Can you reverse lupus? No. Can you reverse Hashimoto's disease? No. And it's like, first, then that's not true. You can reverse these things. I have experience with reversing these things. I've been able to help people reverse their PCOS, their Hashimoto's, their type 2 diabetes, their kidney disease, their fatty liver disease. I've had people who they wanted to have kids, but they couldn't get pregnant because they weren't having a menstrual cycle because their hormones had messed up because they had PCOS, and they had issues with their uterus and fibroids. 12 weeks in, They start getting their menstrual cycle back. They balance out their hormones, and all of a sudden they're like, oh shoot, I can have kids now, and they're super excited about it.
Wow.
So I've witnessed this personally, repeatedly,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've had people say, I no longer need to take my thyroid medication. Hypothyroidism for years, like 12 years. I've had people on thyroid medication 15 years, 12 years, 10 years. We go on a plan for 12 to 18 weeks. No more thyroid medication.
Mm-hmm.
You're out, clear and free.
And if they would have went the regular medical route, they would have been taking medication and still have the issue.
They would have been on it forever.
Yeah.
They would never get off it. I had people, type 2 diabetic, over a decade, 12 years, 15 years. Within 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, no more insulin, no more diabetes, completely out.
Food
Right.
is powerful.
Right.
Food is powerful.
Right.
High raw food, high raw lifestyle is even more powerful. Raw, completely raw is even more powerful. And I actually just made a video on my YouTube about how powerful raw vegan food. Something I healed. I didn't even talk to you, but I didn't talk to anybody about it. I was going through it for 6 whole months.
Oh,
I went raw.
oh.
I went raw for 44 days.
Well, that's a sign to go on the channel, huh? We gotta watch that.
Yeah, you guys got to watch it. You don't even need to watch it. You can just listen to it while you're driving or taking a walk. It's inspiring because it just shows how, and first I always want to give credit first to God because God is the creator of everything, okay? But, you know, God healed me through food, allowing my body to heal itself. So y'all go check it out because it's just powerful. Like that I was going through that and I went raw for 44 days and those things stopped. And it's been 8 months that I've been, whatever those were, free. I never even went to the doctor, Remsen. I never went to my mom kept saying, go to the doctor, go to the doctor. I didn't go because I knew the result was going to be, oh, let's do an MRI or here's some medication or whatever. I was like, what's the point? No matter if I had a name tied to it, a diagnosis for it, the result was going to be, here's some medication for you. And I didn't want to go that route. So I was like, you know what? I got this. I ain't going to no doctor. I'm gonna see if I can heal myself through food. Okay? Because I've healed some other things before in the past by eating all raw. And 44 days later, your girl was whatever for free. I don't even have a name for it because I never went to the doctor to get a diagnosis. So we're going to just call it the nameless thing.
Yeah.
I was nameless thing free, honey. There's a question for you in the box, Remsen. Sorry, let me let you finish your thoughts. Sorry, before I ask that question in the box. My point, I cut you off because I was just saying how powerful food is and raw food.
Yeah, I mean it is. And it's not just raw food. I mean, it's a full spectrum approach. It's herbs, spices, raw foods, sleep patterns, supplementation, things like that. You take a full spectrum approach.
Yeah.
And so what I realized, I'm not going to be able to learn what I need to learn through conventional means. And they're not going to teach you this in university. They're not going to, right? Because guess who creates the curriculum that they teach you in institutionalized college education?
Thank you,
right?
Nikki. Yeah.
So guess who decides that? Guess who decides what you learn? It's the ones who hold all the money.
Right.
Right? Now the thing is the clinical trials, the epidemiological data, the statistical data, that's available. But you got to dig for it. And the thing is, most people don't even know to look for it. Right? So in order to find this information, I call it strip mining for information. Right? So basically what you do is you can research a mineral, one mineral, and you research it. And what you can do is you can type in that mineral and then type in whatever chronic illness you're interested in. And then read the scientific data linked to that mineral.
Mm-hmm.
right? You can do this with amino acids. You can do this with minerals, vitamins. You can do statistical data, population data, and things like this. So you can pick a chronic illness and type in saturated fat, type in protein, type in cholesterol, type in an amino acid, whatever the case is, and see what data pops up.
Okay.
And you can do that every day on a daily basis and dig up information, right? And I've been doing that, for years. And this is what happens, right? This is how you learn certain things and you make certain connections. So I gave you an example, right? An example would be typically when people have degenerative bone disease, let's say osteoporosis, whatever, right? A doctor would say, well, take a calcium supplement with calcium, right? Or drink more dairy, drink more milk or something. Because, in order to have strong, healthy bones, you need calcium. And calcium is typically found in dairy. Or so they say.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem. Calcium has a codependent relationship with another mineral called magnesium. Calcium is usually not water soluble, which means it can be stored inside your body for a prolonged period of time. Particularly, it's supposed to be stored inside lean tissue, like, for example, muscle and bones. If you have a lot of calcium floating around in your blood, that's usually a bad sign, right? So you want a blood calcium score beneath 1. Because calcium is one of the building blocks for atherosclerotic plaque or, kidney stones, gallstones, that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want calcium floating around in your bloodstream. So this where magnesium comes in, because magnesium is water soluble. And magnesium doesn't pile up in your body over a prolonged period of time. Magnesium acts as a transportation mechanism where it binds with calcium to shuttle it into lean tissue mass. If you wanted to increase the health of your bones and muscle tissue, you would actually supplement with magnesium. Because magnesium guarantees increased absorption of calcium and minerals and proteins into bone and muscle tissue. Magnesium is also alkalizing. It's an alkalizing substance, right? And in fact, in order for a food to be alkalizing, if you follow a SABI protocol, magnesium is one of the key things that allows a food to be alkalizing. The goal isn't to eat an alkaline food. The goal is to eat an alkalizing food. Magnesium is an alkalizing mineral that literally reduces acid and increase alkaline forming elements in your body. When you reduce acid, that increases calcium absorption into muscle and bone. Right? This is one of the reasons why an alkaline vegan diet works and has these medicinal properties the way that it does. It basically balances the internal economy of the human body. Right? That's why it's so important. In order to know that, though, you would actually have to know biochemically how these things work, how these minerals work with your body on a cellular level.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, you study different minerals and things like that, and you learn what they all do, and you study over years, like I've done, including, and I started with conventional education, but you have to branch off on your own to learn all the type of stuff that you won't learn otherwise.
Right.
What's the question in the question box?
Well, first, before I ask that question, Black Vegan Man. What's up, Wayne? I don't know if he's still in here, but he was like, he said this a little while ago. Change the food equals heal the body. Amen to that, honey. So the DL Petway, I don't know if you're still on here, but she said eating blueberries only 15 in the mornings. Is that good? Oh, eating only 15 blueberries in the morning. Is that good? I don't really think that's enough to eat for breakfast, but what you think?
Well,
I think
I don't know.
Increase the amount you're eating. You need a little bit more than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should just have, first of all, having a diet just of blueberries is impractical, mainly because blueberries are very expensive.
She said just for breakfast.
I mean, you're going to have to eat a lot of blueberries.
Yeah, because you need to get satiated, and I know you can't.
You're going to have to eat a lot of blueberries. I mean, a lot of blueberries.
Yeah. I think like eating all fruit is fine for breakfast, but I think you should be eating a lot more than that because that's not going to sustain you. I mean, if you ate blueberries 15, you're going to be hungry again in 10 minutes, which is fine. And then just eat again. But I think any fruit is okay to eat for breakfast. It's just, I think you need to increase the amount you're eating though, because that's just not enough.
Yeah,
Where's y'all
yeah.
questions at? Questions in the question box, you guys. Hey, Remsen, you look like you leaning out.
Oh, am I? I don't.
Are you leaning out more? And the muscle
It looks like
popping.
it looks like that's what's happened. I've gained more muscle
Your muscle
mass. I know
is
that.
popping.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys, where's the
I'm telling you,
questions?
it's a lot easier to gain muscle mass than you think if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, and you're going back to the gym for the first time in 2 years. How's that been
Yeah,
going?
yeah, that's right. This week was the first week. I went 3 times last week, and I worked out in the gym for like a maximum of 30 minutes, 1 set per exercise.
Now that's my kind of style.
Yeah,
I love
but
it.
I'm not playing with no 2 or 5 pound dumbbells though.
Right. You getting
That's
the
right.
heavy stuff.
You right. You better challenge
You better
yourself.
bring it. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Bust a sweat. Nah. Oh, that's good. So how's your diet? Are you doing any changes to your diet while you're buffing up in the gym?
Um, I'm eating pretty much the same way I normally eat. You know, some days it can be, well, my favorite days are my raw days. Well, I'll eat like 6 or 7 bananas at a time,
Mm-hmm.
or 3 or 4 pounds of cantaloupe or watermelon, or about 4 large mangoes.
Yeah.
I'll end my day with a cup of almonds, cashews, or peanuts,
You're
and
funny.
then I have
You and
my
your cup of peanuts before bed.
yeah, yeah, and then I'll have uh my rolled oats, my chocolate rolled oats with sunflower seed kernels for breakfast in the morning.
Kernels. Hey, what do you eat for breakfast? He said, Derek asked. He kind of just touched base on that. He might have his chocolate rolled oats or fruit, right?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me, I don't know who that question was for, but for me, I literally have the same thing every single day unless I just want fruit. But I usually have my unsweetened plant-based yogurt. It's from Trader Joe's. It's cashew-based. It's unsweetened. I just add a little bit of stevia just to make it not so nasty. And then and stevia is a natural sweetener. I put blueberries in there and I put chia seeds. I do it at night so that the chia seeds can swell up, and then I'll eat it like with 3 tangerines. I have that literally every day, and it's just like, oh, so good.
Yeah. But the reason why this, in particular, when you eat a lot of bananas, and people say, eat a lot of fruit, they say, oh, I get so much energy when I eat a lot of fruit. It's because it's very high in vitamin C, potassium, and magnesium,
And isn't it also
right?
from the fruit sugar that also makes us have a lot of energy too?
It is that too, but the minerals too, people really underestimate the power of your minerals. So first of all, when you get all this vitamin C and potassium and magnesium, it's really good for your blood flow, which means that your body gets to purge toxins much quicker, which reduces inflammation. And when you reduce inflammation, your body can now switch gears and put more effort into growth hormone release, dopamine synthesis, serotonin synthesis, right, which are your feel-good hormones. Um, you got more magnesium to then, get stored inside your bone and muscle tissue, which leads to higher levels of testosterone and growth hormone, which leads to higher levels of muscle protein synthesis to then build thicker, stronger muscle. You get more glycogen and whatnot stored inside your brains, and then you get better brain function along with serotonin and dopamine, which drive motivation and feelings of mental focus and pleasure, right? So that's why
Mm.
eating large amounts of fruit are such a big deal, and they improve your sleep quality. And then, of course, yeah, the magnesium. Banana is actually very high in magnesium.
I haven't been eating a lot of my tangerines because I'm not hungry all the way. I only had one so far
Yeah.
because I had breakfast late. But I like to eat, like, sometimes it's just easy to eat something simple. Just throw a whole bunch of tangerines and eat it as a meal, or like Remsen's eating like 7 bananas, and that could be a meal. Somebody says, "What's your take on plant-based date?" Oh, dating. Oh, I thought you said dieting. What's your take on plant-based dating?
Um, well, I don't know what you mean by what's my take on plant-based dating. I think it's the only type of dating that would be on the option, or that would be on the table for me.
I would be single if I did it like that. I would be.
I don't date non-vegans.
I would be like hella lonely and never have a man if
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
that would
married
be.
now, but
Well, that's why you got to
huh?
that's why you got to recruit.
Technically, my husband is plant-based according to the dictionary and now our plant-based is fully plant-based, our definition, right? But according to like Webster's dictionary, plant-based is just like your diet is composed of primarily a lot of plant-based foods, which my husband does eat a lot of, but he also eats meat. He eats meat like on the weekends, but so he's not fully plant-based, but he is plant-based according to the Webster's. But if I was looking for a fully vegan man, I literally would not be married. I would not have a man because where I live, and if they
You got to
are,
you got
huh,
to recruit. You got to recruit.
bruh, if I, okay, let me take this back. There's plenty of vegan men probably around here, but they're those weird kind, or they just on a whole nother level that I'm just like hippie style or something. And I wouldn't be attracted to that kind of person. So yeah, but we make it work. You know, he eats meat, and he'll make certain things outside on the grill, on the patio, so I don't have to smell it. He only eats it on the weekends, and then like when I cook, I make only vegan stuff, and he'll eat it. And sometimes he'll cook vegan for me. So we make it work. It just, you know, we gotta make it work because we do. um, yeah, but Rumson is like, and it ain't happening on this end, huh?
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
what about people who have diabetes hyphen fruit? Like somebody's asking.
That's right. You got to eat your way out. Insulin sensitivity. You got to improve your insulin sensitivity. Oh, that's right. That's another thing I want to touch on because you have people. So first of all, a high-fat diet or like a keto diet or a carnivore diet does not.
That wasn't the question.
I'm going to get into it. Does not reverse type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
I'm talking about diabetes because I'm getting
Okay.
into the fundamentals of it.
Gotcha.
So people talk about the A1C. Your A1C is a measure of your blood sugar levels over a 12-week period. All right.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a fatty diet, fatty foods are not insulinogenic inherently, which means they don't spike blood sugar levels, right? So they don't really activate your pancreas.
Mm-hmm.
So you can keep your blood sugar levels low if you avoid eating carbohydrates. But you can't say that you've reversed your diabetes because you don't really have a means to demonstrate that you've improved your insulin sensitivity. If you want to know how insulin sensitive you are, start putting carbs in your diet. If your blood sugar levels start skyrocketing all over the place and you get all type of gas and bloating, lethargia, and fatigue, guess what? You're still insulin resistant, right? If you want to reverse type 2 diabetes, the best thing you can do is get your body used to digesting and metabolizing a predominantly carbohydrate-based diet. Your body will adapt to whatever you eat the most. Your body will adapt to whatever you do the most, which means if you're constantly eating carbohydrates, you're consistently eating carbohydrates, your body will adapt to being able to better use those carbohydrates for energy, right? And the way that it does that is by increasing insulin sensitivity,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you eat more carbs, your body adapts by improving insulin sensitivity. If you keep doing jumping exercises, you're jumping forward, you're jumping backwards, you're jumping side to side, you're jumping up real high, your body gets really good at jumping. And it will build and strengthen the muscles that are conducive to jumping. The human body is naturally adaptive, right? And then your body will adapt and improve insulin sensitivity in anticipation of you eating carbs. Okay? So there's a zero-sum game between like your carbs and your carbohydrates and fatty foods. Carbohydrates are way more thermogenic than fats are, right? In terms of thermogenic burn, carbohydrates are like a dry towel. Fats are like a wet towel. It takes way more thermogenic energy to burn a wet towel, right? Dry towel, not so much. So if you have a very fatty diet, you run the risk of congesting your liver. When you congest your liver, this leads to insulin resistance predominantly, right? The central command of your metabolism is your liver. So you don't want to congest your liver by storing excess amounts of saturated fat in your liver, right?
Mm-hmm.
No more than 10% of your liver's weight should be coming from fat. The average human liver is about 3 pounds or so.
Say that again. No more than what?
No more than 10% of your liver, no more than 10% of your liver's weight should be from fat.
Mm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
The average human liver is roughly 3 pounds. Right? So you don't want more than 0.3 pounds in fat stored in your liver.
I'm just imagining what you're saying.
I did a breakdown of this on one of my streams before. But essentially, you have to balance your body's economy. So think about it like in terms of our economy. You have the velocity of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. economy is jammed up and it's on a decline because the economy is constipated, right? We have like fatty liver of the economy. So what we do is we go to work and we get paid, and that money gets funneled up from us to the top, and it coagulates among the top earners, and it gets sucked up into their pockets through rent, health insurance, all kind of bills, car note, whatever, right? When you get a pay raise, they just raise their prices. So it offsets your pay raise, and it continues the cycle of coagulation of money up top. Then they jack up and increase your work hours and try to get more productivity from you without paying you more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now your output is greater, but your return is less in comparison for the amount of productivity you're putting out. This creates a traffic jam. And so this creates more poverty at the bottom, coagulation of resources and wealth at the top, and you get an overworked, burnt out labor force in the middle. Eventually, that workforce gets burnt out. You start getting mass quitting, collapses, and it trickles down into higher rates of homelessness, disease of despair, obesity, medical bankruptcy, et cetera, all this type of stuff like America is today, right, or the United States is today, right? It's an economic problem. Inside the human body, you get an overworking of your liver, you get an overworking of your kidneys, and you get less return for all the work that they do. So you feel fatigued and lethargic even though your body is doing all of this work to digest all the crap you eat. But you get this coagulation of fat stored in your cells, which is really just a lot of it's stored energy. So you get all of this fat storage in your cells. fat storage underneath your skin, around your organs, in your liver, and your body's not tapping into that. So you get this low energy and you're fatigued, but your body's working really hard at the same time. But even though your body's really working hard, you're not really getting much of a return of energy. So you're just getting burnt out until you just end up having fatty liver disease, high blood pressure, kidney disease, kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, etc. Works the same exact way. It's an economy, right? Now, when you increase the velocity of the resources, you get better blood pressure, you get higher insulin sensitivity, you remove the stress from your kidneys, so your kidneys function better. Your lymphatic system clears toxins much quicker and much more efficiently. Everything works better. And then when the velocity improves, that means better blood flow, better oxygen to the brain, better fat metabolism, etc. And then you have more energy, more motivation, more mental clarity, all this type of stuff. Your whole body's economy improves due to the decongestion of your biological economy. So this is how an economy works, whether it's in your country or in your body. Same exact way. Any economy works with these fundamental principles. They all work like this. It doesn't matter what kind of economy it is. It just is, period. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of think about like how dysfunctional our world would be if water was constantly evaporating from the Earth's surface. Water molecules were going up into the sky and never coming back down. You'd have the Earth's surface drying out, and then you'd have clouds saturated with water, but it never rains. So you get a gray sky, no sunlight, and everything bone dry at the bottom. You'd get a dead planet. That's why you have to have the circulation.
Right.
That's why you can't have coagulation of resources. In the example that I just named, water is the resource that's coagulating at the top.
Wow. That was a lot of information. Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope your question was answered. Oh, and Derek, I don't know if you're still on here. He said you guys' skin looks, I forgot what he said. He said so your skin is glowing, or you guys' skin looks nice. How old are you guys? I answered him. I don't know if he saw it, but I'll be 49 and damn, Gina, I'll be 49 in November. Every time I say that, like I literally, that's crazy. Anyway, I'll be 49 in November. Remsen is 34, right?
36.
Oh, 36. I'm tripping. I'm thinking about Wayne. I'm thinking about Black Vegan Man. But yes, you were 36. I could have had you. I could have had you when I was 13. Nah.
What?
You could be my son. No, just playing.
That ain't gonna work.
Nah, that's young. That's not a common age to have kids.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Hi, son. No, I'm just playing.
That ain't gonna work mathematically. I had my first child when I was 13 years old. You had your first what?
I do know one person that had a child when she was 13, and so she's 2 years younger than me. So she'll be 47, which means her son is I think 34. That's crazy, right? She's 40. She'll be 47, and her son is about 34 now. That's crazy, but that's not a common you don't know a lot of people that have kids that early. You know, that's not.
It's kind of horrifying, though, right? Can you imagine raising a child at 13 years old? That's kind of horrifying.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, you're still a kid yourself.
Yeah, like imagine how you thought when you were 13.
Yeah. You know, you didn't know nothing about nothing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But anyway, it happens every now and then. Any questions, you guys? So, okay, you eat so much fruit. How are you getting 150 grams of protein? Did you say you eat like 150 grams?
No, I don't eat 150 grams of protein a day, no.
You don't? Okay.
The most would be like 130. So when I eat...
You acting like that was that far off. That's
a whole 20 grams off. So basically...
It's still a lot.
My first meal of the day is around... My first meal of the day is like 70 grams. My second meal of the day, usually it's like all fruit, so it'll be around
10.
12, maybe 15 grams,
Hmm.
right? So like I just ate 7 bananas, that's probably like around 9 grams of protein, 10 maybe, somewhere around there. So my second meal of the day, all fruit, it'll typically be around 10, 12 grams of protein. And then when I have the cup of nuts, that's another 20 to
You eat
24 grams.
a lot of nuts.
Yeah, 28,
Wait,
28,
this feels
28 to 28 to 32 ounces. I mean, 28 to 32 grams.
that's a lot of fat too.
Yeah, well, it's polyunsaturated sources, so I don't mind.
'Cause I'm not
But
opposed
also
to
like
fat. I'm not opposed to fat, FYI. I do
now,
eat fat every day, but like I only eat like a serving of nuts, which might be like 16 grams of fat, but you'll
well,
be eating like a cup,
yeah,
which is that's
yeah,
like
like a
two.
whole cup, yeah. So, but one thing that's important to notice too is that a lot of the fat in the nuts, you don't absorb like 15 to maybe even 30% of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
because
I
the
think
dietary fiber,
I remember you saying that before, I think.
yeah, because the dietary fiber from the polyunsaturated fat sources and the monounsaturated fat sources, it's mostly polyunsaturated, a little bit of saturated.
Baby, bring me
But the
some
fiber, but the
nuts.
fiber
Go ahead.
will inhibit a percentage of it.
Okay, so I could eat double amount, but I'm only going to absorb a half
it.
of it.
Especially like when you think about the fiber from your previous meals, right? Um, so you're not absorbing all of the fat from the nuts.
Okay.
Now, nut butter, well, that's a different story, right? Especially nut butter with added oils, that's a different story. I don't do nut butters, right? I do just straight up whole nuts. And so I
Yeah, but
rotate particularly between almonds, peanuts, and cashews. That's what I've been doing. I've been rotating between those.
what about when you want to have some ice cream and you want to put 1 tablespoon of peanut butter just because it makes it taste good?
I
You
mean, you
don't do
can
nothing.
do that if you want. I'm just
You know
saying
what
what
I'm
I
saying?
do.
You don't ever do nothing like that, or put
I don't.
a tablespoon of
No,
peanut butter
I
in
don't
your
put.
smoothies.
No, I don't put nut butter in my food. I haven't bought nut butter in like over a year.
You're not better than me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Oh, Janet says, oh, before I forget my question, do you know, okay, so sodium, like if I eat too much of it, and I don't eat like salt per se, but I have, might eat something that has sodium in it, right? If I eat too much sodium, like it makes me retain water and I feel heavy the next day and might even be bloated. Like, do you know what the amount of sodium one should eat a day? Like the maximum we should be eating, the
Um,
milligrams? Do you?
so I typically, I will not add. So as far as added sodium, I cap out at, for me personally, I cap out at 1 gram. And if I have a cooked meal that day, it'll be 3 grams.
Okay, what is that in milligrams? Because I don't know it. I can't calculate right now.
So 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams.
Okay, so you eat about a maximum of about 1,000 milligrams a day.
Right, usually, yeah. If
That's
it's a
what.
cooked meal, then it'll be like 3 grams.
Okay, I try to keep it like 1,000 or less. Because I know we do need sodium. You
Yeah.
can't go without it because then you'll start having complications,
Well,
right?
sodium has a codependent relationship with potassium,
Mm.
right? So you have to have a, so you have to have you don't have to, but I think it's a good idea to have sodium in your diet for sure. For me, I'll add sodium a lot of the times because it's very beneficial to like my training and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I want to if I want to have more nutrient absorption and more water in my muscle tissue, then I'll have more sodium.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Also, sodium improves muscle contractions. So you get stronger muscle activation
Hmm.
with sodium.
How
Sodium is an electrolyte.
how come you don't ever? How come men like yourself and Black Vegan Man and some other like? How come y'all stomach never poke out after you eat? How come my stomach always poke out after I eat? Is it because I'm older? I don't remember it doing that when I was younger.
That I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I'm like,
I don't.
oh, and don't let me eat no watermelon. If I eat a whole bowl of watermelon, I look like I'm 6 months pregnant afterwards. Now it goes down overnight, but it's just like it's weird how like it can just make it protrude so much. But I feel like if you ate a bowl of watermelon, your stomach will still be flat.
I don't know. It depends. I mean, it might depend on the length of your torso, and it might also depend on the muscular development in your abdomen. You know, like how strong is your transverse abdominis? So you have a muscle group in your abdominals called your transverse abdominis, right? And then you have your obliques, and they basically cross each other this way and cross each other this way. So it's like a corset. It's like a natural corset around your torso. So when you strengthen those muscles, they tighten your torso, which causes you to have less spilling out of your gut, right? So you know how like baby belly is. You ever see babies and they got their cute little round belly? They just belly just be hanging out.
Yes, the way I
You ever,
look after I eat. No.
yeah. So you got baby belly. You know, like that's that lazy belly, that lazy baby belly, because babies don't know how to contract their abdomen.
Right.
So you know when you strengthen your when you strengthen your transverse abdominis, and whatnot, then you know you kind of naturally get snatched and sucked in at the torso, right? So you don't have the just kind of just hanging there, right? So
It's
that
interesting.
could be it.
Your
Yeah.
stomach it's always flat, huh?
I mean, is it? I mean, I don't really look much at my stomach, but I never really have a protruding stomach. No.
Good and well you be looking at your stomach and your abs. Don't play.
I don't think I look at my stomach and my abs enough.
I see them videos you be posting with the six packs.
Yeah, I need to. Actually, my stomach is not even particularly as lean as it was before, though.
Well, we don't
Like,
know
cause
what
I
your
didn't.
stomach we don't know what your stomach was before. All I know is what it is now, and you got a six pack, or was it an eight pack?
No, no, not no 8 pack. I didn't get crazy with the fitness stuff this year, or within these last couple of years. I didn't go crazy with it.
Really?
I was pretty laid
Are you
back. No, I
serious
didn't.
right
Yeah, I'm
now? Because
serious.
your body looks like you've been on fleek.
Nah, I mean, I can definitely trust me. I could look like a full-fledged competitive bodybuilder if I wanted to.
Oh, I think you look like one now.
Yeah. Well, nah, I'm not. I'm not anywhere near that. I mean, I'm cruising. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
well, if you say so. No, he trying to be
So,
modest, y'all. He trying to be modest. No.
yeah,
Oh, well,
I
thank
look like
you.
a regular in shape human being, like what
I
people are supposed to
guess.
look like.
I guess.
And I don't look crazy. There's some guys out here, and they look crazy, shredded, maximum 8% body fat,
Dang, that's low.
crazy bulging round shoulders, and all of this, right? Because they, competitive bodybuilders and whatnot, and these CrossFit athletes, they be looking crazy because they in the gym just train. They are just dedicated to their
How
training.
much
I'm
body
not
fat?
like that.
How much body fat do you have?
I'm at like 10% right
That's
now.
hella low. That's hella low, right?
That's like normal. It's like normally what it should be for a man. For an
Really?
adult man, it should be like around 10%. Yeah.
That's
It's an ideal level,
so. What
10%.
does a bodybuilder get down to?
I mean, they can get down to like 6%, 4%.
Damn,
Get super shredded.
is that
But I don't want to do
healthy?
that. But I don't want to do all of that because you're more than likely going to feel miserable like that because
Right.
you're all
'Cause-
dehydrated and
yeah. 'Cause
you
whatever
know.
they're eating to get like that, it's not sustainable.
Yeah. I mean, you
It
got to
would
get
make
all
you. It would make you
dehydrated.
grumpy. I think it would make you grumpy to have to live like that 24
Yeah.
year round.
Glycogen stores all depleted, skin all thin and everything. Oh, I'm not trying to do that.
That's not the business.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to have to bring it to a close because I have to get ready for a white party that my husband is performing at.
You got to get ready for a what party?
White party. You know, where you wear all white.
That
You ever
sounds
been
kind of
to?
racist.
It's an event. You know, you ain't never
Where's
been
the
to a white
black party at?
where everybody wearing all white. It's just my husband is performing, and it's gonna be a really nice event. But I gotta wear all white. Everybody is gonna be wearing all white. It's just
There's
people
gonna be
have
black people wearing all white?
everybody. You
Everybody
ain't never
black
been to
over there?
black,
It's a black people all white
black
party?
people, whoever. You
Yeah.
ain't never been to, what about a black party where everybody wear all black? You ever been to one of those?
I've been to both.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't called a white party, but everybody was wearing all white.
Well,
It was on a boat.
that's what they call it, a white party.
Yeah.
So I got to get ready. It's an early day event. It starts at 5, and he has to be there early because, you know, you got to get set up and ready. So I'm like, man, I got to get ready early.
What's
Uh,
he
so,
playing?
huh?
What's he playing? What instrument?
He's a singer.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I post clips on him of him sometimes on my other page, my regular Instagram page. He's pretty dope. He got skills, you
Yeah,
know.
there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, you did cheering him on. That's dope.
He's opened up for a lot of people over the years. He used to go on tour a lot. He's opened up for like Jill Scott, Most Def, Howard Hewitt.
All the headliners. Look at that.
There's a lot more people, I can't think of them right now, but he's opened up for a lot of people in back in the day. But yeah, so I'm gonna get ready for that. This was great. Thank you again, Remsen, as always, and thank you guys for your questions. Y'all wasn't asking a lot of questions today, but that's okay. You guys make sure you follow Remsen, follow myself. Remsen is a high raw vegan coach, nutritionist, and you can send him an inbox if you want to book a. He can sing. Yes, he can. Have you seen some clips of him, Carl? He send the inbox if you want to book a call, y'all, because he can help you lose weight. He can help you heal your body. And y'all check out my video on my YouTube channel. Go to my link in my bio. Click on that. Go to the.
Yeah, I'm about to watch that in a bit because I want to know what this unnamed thing is.
Yeah, man, Remsen, dude. The only person that knew about it was my husband, and then I told my mom and my sister about one of the episodes that happened, but they didn't know that I was still dealing with it for a whole 6 months. And I talk about the symptoms of it. I talk about some of the places it happened and how I had to like try to, y'all just go watch it. You don't have to look at it, just listen to it, because it's just me talking. So you could be walking, jogging, driving while you're listening to it. But listen to it and share it with someone who might be going through something physical, and, you know, maybe that could be inspiration that they can try eating raw vegan or whatever. I don't know. It worked for me.
Gotcha. All right.
God is good. But yeah, listen to it. I remember one time, I'm going to say this, I was on live and it happened, and I had to just, I didn't have time to say nothing. I just hung up the live and it happened, and I had to go. Y'all go listen to it. Just go listen to my video and make sure you guys comment on it. Let me know you watched it, and then like it. And if you know how you click on somebody's YouTube and it makes you want to sign in? If you click on the link to my YouTube and it makes you sign in, all you got to do is go to the top of the video where those 3 dots are, and then click on it, and then click on open in YouTube or open in desktop. If you click on my link and it makes you sign in, you could bypass that. But anyway, thank you, Remsen. Thank you, everybody. God bless you all. What's that? Oh, that's the peels.
Yeah, these are the banana peels. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought I saw French fries. I'm tripping.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of banana peels. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for having me on.
And that's your meal,
huh?
That was your meal?
Yep. Yeah.
When will you be hungry again?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of still hungry, so I might get into some kiwis.
You said get into, not get into. But anyway, thank you, Remsen. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.
Yes, ma'am. Take care.
Bye, everybody.